State Attorney for Palm Beach County, Dave Ehrenberg. Dave, there's this commercial about timing where some guy was always just a little off kilter, and the impact it had on his social life. I think the governor's political timing is a little suspect right now, because unless you live in Florida, you don't understand that so many Floridians feel under siege right now, especially in the more populated areas of the state, by this Delta variant. What are you looking at to see whether the governor's timing is off, or whether this is, in fact, something most Floridians want?
Well, good morning, Joe. Yeah, the governor picked the wrong fight, and he's now paying the political price for it. You know, he used this anti-mask mandate stuff to rise to the top of the Republican polls for president in 2024. He became a MAGA darling, but he neglected to think about his reelection next year for governor in Florida, and this stuff is hurting him. There have been three major changes on the ground that have led to this. First, the spread of the Delta variant, as you said, which is much more contagious and much riskier for children in particular. Also, you have his anti-mask mandates now being thrust upon schools where children under 12 cannot get vaccines. And third, he's ramped up his rhetoric. He's now threatening to defund school districts that oppose him. And that slogan, defund schools, is about as popular as defund the police. And it's not just the polls that show him struggling. It's also the fact that, as you said, 10 school districts are standing up to him. They are red and blue counties, including 2 counties that voted for Trump in the last election. And so you're seeing cruise lines now, private companies, bucking the governor. It was just a couple days ago that it was just Norwegian Cruise Lines that filed lawsuit against the governor's anti-vaccine passport law. Now all the cruise companies are saying they're going to require proof of vaccines for all passengers over 12. And the latest company to say it was Disney. And the governor has said nothing in response, because it's one thing to try to bully local government officials. It's yet another to pick a fight with the mouse.
You know, Willie and I have talked about how strange it is to have these governors who claim to be conservative actually telling small business owners what they can't do, telling family restaurants what they can't do, telling entrepreneurs that create thousands of jobs across the state of Florida or Texas what they can't do. And yet you've got the governor doing that, and also telling all 67 county school boards or local school boards what they can and cannot do. That does not sound like a small government conservative. That kind of sounds more like a big government socialist. I'm interested, though. The governor is saying that parents should make individual decisions on masks. Is he saying the same thing about the 5 or 6 vaccines that every child in the state of Florida has to take before they start school?
You're right. You're trying to use common sense, Joe. Yes, exactly. He's also trying to blame Joe Biden for not ending the COVID pandemic. That was his latest accusation, which is crazy. It's like the Miami Dolphins defense in the 80s and 90s blaming Dan Marino for never winning a Super Bowl. It really doesn't make any sense. And these local school boards are responding to public sentiment and clear science on masks. And they also know, though, that the governor has limited tools that he can use to retaliate against them. Remember, at first he wanted to defund schools, but that was really unpopular, so he backed down. Then he wanted to defund school salaries of school board members and superintendents, but he doesn't have the legal authority to do so. And then he now wants to defund the equivalent of their salaries from the overall school budgets, but that's just a drop in the bucket, and the Biden administration has said they will reimburse the money. So we have this political standoff, which is really unusual, Joe, in a one-party state like Florida, which it's been for the last couple of decades. It shows that the invincibility of this governor is gone. And ironically, although DeSantis has made this freedom thing, this anti-mask mandate, his political brand, last year he imposed lockdown statewide. But don't tell anyone, because that'll hurt him amongst his Republican base.